Unveiling the splendour and intrigue of Giulia Farnese at the Renaissance papal court. Giulia Farnese, often overshadowed by her beauty and scandalous reputation, entered the Renaissance papal court as a young woman of striking charm and intelligence. Her arrival coincided with one of the most opulent and politically charged periods in the Vatican's history, setting the stage for her influential role. Pope Alexander VI, born Rodrigo to the papacy through a combination of shrewd politicking and substantial bribery. Known for his ambitious nature and controversial decisions, his papacy was marked by nepotism and the pursuit of power, which defined the political landscape of the Renaissance Church. Encounters with Pope Alexander VI were facilitated by her beauty and the strategic maneuverings of her family, who aimed to secure power and influence through her. Their relationship quickly evolved, with Giulia becoming not just a lover, but a confidant to the Pope, profoundly impacting his reign. Within the court was significantly aided by her charisma and beauty. These attributes not only caught the Pope's eye, but also helped her navigate the complexities of court life. Her presence and influence became pivotal as she adeptly used her charm to foster alliances and assert her position. A grand festivity at the Vatican, attended by Giulia Farnese, showcased the extravagance of the papal court. The event, filled with opulent decorations and a plethora of distinguished guests, highlighted Giulia's prominent status. Her elegance and poise during the celebration further cemented her place in the court's elite circle. Giulia Farnese wielded significant influence over Pope Alexander VI, swaying his decisions on key church matters. Her close relationship with the Pope allowed her discreet yet substantial input into policy-making, particularly concerning matters that intersected with her personal and familial interests. Within the intricate web of Renaissance power, Giulia Farnese became a central figure, skillfully navigating through influential circles. Her relationships with key figures such as cardinals and nobles enhanced her standing at court, enabling her to act as a conduit for information and favours. Giulia's role in the appointment of cardinals was notably strategic. She used her influence to place individuals sympathetic to her and her family's interests within powerful church positions. This not only fortified her network, but also ensured continued support for her endeavours within the Vatican. Extensive connections, Giulia forged political alliances that extended beyond the immediate confines of the Vatican. Her ability to broker relationships between powerful families and the papal court further solidified her position as a key player in the political landscape of Renaissance Italy. Giulia's participation in religious rituals at the court was both a display of her piety and a strategic maneuver to maintain her public image. Her visible involvement in these events underscored her role as a pious and influential figure within the papal domain, enhancing her reputation among the clergy and laity alike. Giulia Farnese's life was steeped in the opulence that defined the Renaissance. Her presence at the Vatican was marked by extravagant living, from sumptuous feasts to luxurious attire, reflecting the wealth and power that surrounded Pope Alexander VI's reign. Her influence extended far beyond mere aesthetics, however. Giulia was known to have the Pope's ear, shaping his decisions and policies with a subtlety that belied her unofficial position. Her charm and intelligence made her a formidable figure in the intricacies of Vatican politics. Around her swirled a network of powerful figures, each playing critical roles in the tapestry of Renaissance power dynamics. Giulia aligned herself with influential cardinals and advisors, ensuring her involvement in key decisions, notably in the appointment of cardinals, which further solidified her position within the court. Through her strategic alliances, Giulia Farnese extended the Pope's influence across Italy and beyond. Her ability to navigate and negotiate these complex relationships was pivotal in maintaining the balance of power within the Papal States. Giulia also participated actively in religious rituals, her devoutness serving both personal faith and public image. Her presence at these events was not just ceremonial, it reinforced her sanctified position within the papal court, weaving her influence seamlessly into the spiritual life of the Vatican. Public perception of Giulia Farnese was complex, tinged with both fascination and scandal. Her relationship with Pope Alexander VI, a figure already surrounded by controversy, only heightened the intrigue. Her beauty and closeness to the Pope made her a subject of both admiration and notorious gossip across Rome. The Vatican, and espionage, was a place where Giulia had to navigate carefully. Her position afforded her access to sensitive information, making her a key player in the clandestine affairs of the papal court. This secretive aspect of her role often put her at the center of volatile political games. Giulia's patronage of the arts marked a significant chapter in Renaissance culture. Her influence helped to sponsor works by prominent artists of the time, which not only enhanced cultural development but also served to consolidate her power and image within the elite circles of Rome. Facing moral and ethical dilemmas was an inevitable part of Giulia's court life. Her decisions could affect not just her own fate, but also the spiritual leadership of the Church. This burden often placed her in morally ambiguous situations, where the right choice was not always clear or easy. The rivalries of powerful families were sharpened by their connections to the papal court. Giulia's alliances through her family and relations were instrumental in navigating these treacherous waters. Her ability to maintain and manipulate these connections was crucial to her survival and influence in the political landscape of the papacy. The streets of Rome were adorned with vibrant colours and religious symbols, as Giulia Farnese played a prominent role in a major religious procession. Her presence not only underscored her influence, but also her deep involvement in the Church, enhancing her image as a devout and powerful figure within the Papal States. Gifts and favours were currency in the intricate politics of the papal court, a strategy well utilised by Giulia Farnese. By distributing these tokens of goodwill strategically, she was able to secure alliances and loyalty, reinforcing her position and extending her influence further among Rome's elite. Giulia sometimes clashed with her public role, yet she masterfully balanced these aspects. Her ability to maintain this equilibrium kept her favoured in the eyes of those who mattered at court, allowing her to navigate the complex landscape of religious and political power with grace and tact. Her influence extended into the realm of international diplomacy, where Giulia became an unofficial yet pivotal advisor to Pope Alexander VI. Her insights and suggestions often shaped the Pope's diplomatic stances, subtly guiding papal interactions with foreign powers and shaping the course of international relations. Secrecy and silence were tools as much as they were strategy in the treacherous environment of the Vatican. She knew when to speak and when to hold her tongue, a skill that preserved her influence and protected her from the many who would see her fall from grace. As the political landscape shifted, Giulia Farnese found her influence within the papal court beginning to wane. The emergence of new power players and shifting alliances meant that her once captivating presence was overshadowed by fresher faces and changing political priorities, leading to a gradual decrease in her sway over Vatican affairs. The death of Pope Alexander VI was a turning point in Giulia Farnese's life. With her main supporter gone, her position at court became untenable. She retreated from the public eye, focusing instead on her personal life and spirituality, a stark contrast to her previous role at the heart of Vatican politics. Giulia's long-term impact on the papal court and church politics is a subject of historical debate. While her influence was undeniable during her prime, the extent to which she shaped policy and religious practices varies according to different historical interpretations. Her role as a muse and confidant, however, is consistently recognized. Giulia Farnese's story offers a fascinating influential women of her time, such as Isabella d'Este and Lucrezia Borgia. Each wielded power in unique ways, yet Giulia's blend of beauty, intelligence, and strategic relationships provided a distinct model of female influence in Renaissance Italy. Reflecting on Giulia Farnese's legacy, it is clear that she occupies a unique place in both historical and cultural contexts. Her life illustrates the complexities of women's power in a male-dominated society and contributes richly to our understanding of the social dynamics within Renaissance Italy's most influential circles. Giulia Farnese's legacy in the historical and cultural context is profound. Known as La Bella, her beauty and influence at the Renaissance papal court left a lasting mark. Her intimate involvement with Pope Alexander VI helped shape the policies and direction of the Church during a crucial period in history. Her portrayal in art cements her status as a significant figure of the Renaissance. Artists and writers were captivated by her charm and power, often depicting her as a muse and a figure of intrigue. These portrayals contributed to the romantic and enigmatic image of Giulia that persists today. Religion played a dual role in Giulia's life, both justifying and condemning her actions. While some saw her relationship with the Pope as divinely inspired, others criticized it as morally corrupt. This duality reflects the complex interplay between personal ambition and religious expectations during her time. The formation of the papal court under Giulia's influence was significant. Her presence brought a heightened sense of culture and political savvy to the Vatican. Through her, the court saw an influx of arts and a more pronounced emphasis on political alliances, which reshaped its cultural and political landscape. Giulia faced numerous personal challenges and triumphs throughout her life at court. Navigating through a male-dominated sphere with grace and acumen, she managed to maintain her position and influence, testament to her resilience and strategic thinking. Her story is one of survival and empowerment in a turbulent era. Examination of primary sources on Giulia Farnese's life reveals a complex figure intertwined with the politics and culture of her time. Letters, Vatican records, and contemporary chronicles provide essential insights into her influence and the nuances of her relationships within the Renaissance papal court. The ethical implications of Giulia's influence over religious figures, her close association with Pope Alexander VI, raises questions about the intersection of moral authority and personal power. This relationship highlights the often blurred lines between spiritual leadership and political ambition in the context of Renaissance governance. Between public festivities and the private lives at the papal court is stark. Lavish celebrations masked the intense personal and political dramas unfolding behind the scenes. Giulia's role in these spectacles was both a public endorsement of her influence and a cover for her more discreet maneuvers. Reflecting on the human side of Giulia Farnese amidst the political and religious games illuminates her as more than just a historical figure. It portrays her as a woman navigating her path through the treacherous landscapes of power, showcasing her resilience and strategic acumen in a male-dominated world. In conclusion, re-evaluating Giulia Farnese's role requires understanding her both as a product of her times and as an individual who shaped her environment. Her legacy offers valuable insights into the dynamics of power, gender, and politics in one of history's most intriguing eras.